You got it? Or you want me?
You can do it.
Nope.
Shut up, boys.
No, we're not turning it on. Sorry.
Fuck you, I don't care. This is the only thing I don't like about doing a live stream on YouTube. It's stupid.
EDU, right?
Yes.
Is it full screen? Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Should we wait to record or you want to start?
Hello, Franklin sports fans, and welcome back to Piscini Stadium for this latest girls varsity soccer matchup, where your Franklin Panthers are about to face off against the visiting school of Newton South. This game starting about a half an hour late, but that's largely due to traffic and also the bus situation out in Newton not being as ideal as they would like it to be, so travel was a little bit difficult for Newton South getting here. But as you folks at home can see, Newton South at any rate is out there practicing, getting ready for this game. Newton South comes into this non-league matchup with a record of 2-6-2. And the Franklin Panthers coming in with a record of 9-1. So it might sound like lopsided records for these two teams, but sometimes the opponent's gameplay can be very deceiving compared to their record. So we thank you for tuning into this girls varsity soccer matchup. Meredith Robertson behind the camera, and this is Chris Flynn calling the game for you viewers at home, both on cable and on YouTube. And as I stated, this is a non-league matchup, so we're certainly hoping for a rather exciting matchup between Franklin and Newton South. Franklin coached by Jody Klein, who is halfway through her first year as the full-time varsity coach for the Panthers. She's had a lot of success so far, and I'm sure she's hoping to continue on that success here. Their only loss being to the KP Warriors earlier on in the season. But I think it's safe to say that she's continued to continue on the type of success on the field that her predecessor Tom Geisen always aspired to. Not to put Jody on too high of a pedestal, but she's had a good season so far, and we're halfway through the current season, so I'm sure at this point all Franklin sports are looking forward to the playoffs, which will be happening in a couple weeks. So Franklin starters out on the field doing their customary huddle prior to the start of the game. And Newton South is led by head coach Angelina Sutherland. Slightly cool day here at Piscina Stadium, but that's to be expected at this point in the season. Sun's doing her best to peek out through the clouds out above the field. Although we are leaning closer to between the 5:30 6 p.m. time frame. Newton South starters out on the field doing their customary huddle. Looks like Franklin's going to have number 6, Anya Zub, start off with the ball for the Panthers in the start of the first quarter, or the start of the first half, I should say. Nope, I take that back. Norton South will actually start off with the ball. So we're about to get ready here with one of the refs slowly running off, jogging off, I should say, to the near side of the field. Franklin faithful cheering on their team. There's the whistle, and here we go. Newton South starts off with the ball. Franklin chasing that ball down very quickly. That ball is going to go out, is going to be knocked out of bounds. So Newton South ball, throw in. Franklin playing tight D here. Franklin throw in. As Franklin tries to center that ball, and Newton sending it right back into Franklin territory. And the goalie is going to take that, is going to just pick that ball up. Franklin in their home blue jerseys, Newton South in their white away jerseys. And both teams wearing pink socks for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Seen quite a bit of that with all of our varsity sports. And that'll continue on through the rest of the month. And that kick by Jackie Ginsburg on Newton South is going to be blocked and knocked out of bounds. So that's going to be a corner kick for Newton South. And Ginsburg to take the corner kick. Going to be a low kick ball. And the subsequent kick towards the net is going to go up and over the net. So that's going to be a goal kick for the Panthers. So Franklin moving the ball up the opposite side of the field. Newton's again just sending it right back in. Goalie's right there for that one. She's just going to throw it down to number 5, Morgan Lovell. Moving it to the outside to number 3, Allie Powderly. Powderly again with the ball. She sent it to a teammate. That ball is going to be sent into the center of the field. And number 8. Ooh, a nice attempt there at a shot on net. Ball's going to go a little too far for them, and so that's going to be a shot wide of the net. So Newton South goal kick. And a nice boot that goes almost to the 45-yard line. Newton South with some fancy footwork as they try to get it by the Franklin defense. Franklin gets it into some open space. And some good ball movement here. But that's to be expected for the most part of Franklin's gameplay. So Newton South throw-in. Anya Vehi with the throw-in right there. It's actually Enya Vehi, my mistake. Franklin with the ball on the far side of the field. He's trying to set up a play here. That shot's going to be kicked wide and out of bounds, so Newton South corner goal kick. Another nice boot by goalkeeper Amanda Cosgrove. Franklin keeping it in open space. And then moving it back into Newton South territory. Shot going to be centered, but ooh, Newton South's going to get right in front of that one, so they're going to clear it out. Maddie Horton sends it back to the goalie. Again, Franklin just keeping the ball in open space, making sure that Newton South can't track them down too quickly. Morgan Lovell has the ball stolen from her. And back to the goalie. And a big header there by Newton South. And Franklin just doing their best to keep it away from Newton South, but that ball is going to be sent almost into center field. Megan Holt chasing it down. Number 18, Kelly O'Connor. Ooh, she's racing this past her Newton South defenders. She's not quite able to get that ball in front of the Newton South goalie, so the Newton South goalie picks that one up before Franklin can cause any more trouble. And we have got a free kick for the Panthers. A lot of good ball movement there, but Newton South is going to knock it away. Franklin throw in. Both teams getting a foot on that one. Newton South, ooh, they almost get the ball stolen away from them. As they try to send it upfield, Franklin setting it right back. Franklin sends that upfield, but it gets too far ahead for anyone to really be able to track that one down. So again, that ball is going to be picked up by the Newton South goalie, Amanda Cosgrove. That ball is going to slowly roll out of bounds, and Franklin's going to let it as it was last hit by a Newton South player. That ball is going to stay Franklin ball. So Franklin with a free kick as number 7, Maddie Horton, will take care of this free ball for the Panthers. A big boot. Goes more to center field. And it looks like Franklin might be called offsides right there. So Cosgrove with a free kick. Ooh, a nice header right there. And that one from Ava Villela. Kelly O'Connor on the opposite side of the field. She's trying to get it past her defender, and she's able to, and a shot on net is going to be snatched up. So Franklin trying to create opportunities here, primarily by O'Connor there. Although there was a shot on net on the opposite side of the goal. But I unfortunately did not catch who it was that had that shot on net. So right now we have a Newton South free kick. Franklin comes right up for that one, but unfortunately it's going to be deflected out of bounds. So a Newton South throw in. This one's going to be turned over to the Panthers. Newton South takes control of the ball here. They try to send it upfield, but Franklin's right there to stop it. Newton South taking it back in heavy traffic here. Number 2, Jackie Ginsburg. And her shot's going to be blocked out of bounds by Allie Powderly, so that will result in another corner kick for Newton South. It'll be very interesting to see what they're able to do with this second corner. First one was a little low hit, so. And this one just a repeat. Franklin gets a couple of kicks in there. Olivia Costa gets it. Costa sends it to number 12, Ava Villela. And a whistle is going to be called for a penalty on Newton South, so Franklin with a free kick. Number 5, I believe, Sophia Dos Anjos. Ooh, a nice kick right there and a head ball. Not sure if that was number 17 or number 25 for Newton South, but a header is going to go just a couple of feet away from the side post of the Newton South net. So Franklin corner kick. And Allie Powderly to inbound the ball. Nice head ball, but the Newton South goalie is right there for that one. So Cosgrove able to handle that fairly easily. Best shot on net that Franklin has had so far in this game. Franklin sending it back. Franklin with an opportunity, and they take advantage. Anya Zub takes advantage of an opportunity with the ball dropping right in front of her and her Newton South defender. And she's able to get that shot by Cosgrove. And she's able to put the Panthers up on the board. Franklin leading the score now by a score of 1-0. Or 1-0 if you want to get soccer specific. 26 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in the first half. Gameplay resumes. Newton South with a big kick right there. Couple of headers. Newton tries to keep it in bounds, and they do. Franklin sending it upfield. And another potential opportunity, but this time Franklin is going to be called for offsides. Another dramatic opportunity there for Zub, but this one's not going to get as far as she would have liked it to. So Cosgrove with a free kick. She gets that into shallow Franklin territory. Franklin taking that ball right back. Almost able to weave it through a few Newton South defenders. Kelly O'Connor chasing that one down. O'Connor has some speed with her. And it's worked to her advantage in a very big way in the small handful of games that I've covered of girls soccer. Newton South tries to center that one, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Franklin, so a Newton South throw-in. That call is actually reversed, so it's going to be a Franklin throw-in. Franklin trying to just get the ball into open space, which they do. Reynoso. And Laney Fulci chasing that one down, but that one's again going to be picked up by... I think I'm getting my rosters mixed up here. Sorry, folks. Celine Hamad with possession of the ball right now as she tries to keep it away from her Newton South defender. Franklin throw-in. Hamad sticking to it, and this is going to be a Franklin goal kick. I think Franklin was under the impression it was going to be a corner kick, but it's ruled out of bounds off of Franklin. So Cosgrove with the goal kick. And that one is just going to bounce right out of bounds towards the Newton South bench. Newton South tries to bring it to center field. They steal it away from their Franklin offense. Continuing to do so. Franklin sends it back to their goalie. Powderly. She's got it. Oh, she almost had. She does. Yeah. As the ball moves around, Newton South just doing their best to catch up to their Franklin offense, to the Franklin offense here. Newton throw in. So a Newton South free kick right here. And we are going to have number 17, Haley Smith. Smith with the free kick. And that's going to go right to the goalie. So Newton South's best shot on net right there. Not a serious threat for the Franklin defense. As Franklin tries to keep that away from Newton South defense. They send that one upfield, but that one's going to be a little too strong for Franklin to catch up to, so that's going to be a Newton South goal kick. .21 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first half. Franklin leading this game by a score of 1-0. And a big head ball right there. And that is by number 15, Joel Weldon. Nope, actually my mistake. Number 15, Gwen Holland. Joel Weldon being on the Newton South team. Allie Powderly with a throw-in. Newton South getting a foot on that one. It's going to stay Franklin possession. And Powderly with another throw-in. Franklin gets in front of that one. Some good ball movement here. Number 15, Gwen Holland. Oh, she's double teamed effectively here. Shot on it is going to be deflected out of bounds by number 6, Anya Vehi. Enya Vehi, I should say. So Franklin corner kick. Good shot, good head ball right there, and Franklin able to finish it off. That may have been Anya Zub again. See if I can get the team number for you in just a second here. Yes, that is number 6, Anya Zub, who was able to finish that shot off the net after an initial header that just kept the ball in front of Cosgrove, but Zub right there to bury it in the Newton South net. So Franklin now leading the game with 19:24 left to go in the first half. Score is now 2-0. Newton South throw-in. Franklin boots that out of their territory. And Newton South just lets that ball roll out of bounds, so Newton South throw-in. Newton South tries to send that ball downfield. Franklin bringing this ball down. Number 15, Gwen Holland. She's able to center it, but Anya Zub can't retain control of it. Holland. She's effectively double teamed right there, and that's going to stay Franklin ball. $18 minutes left to go in the first half. Franklin with a free ball. Although they are asked to roll the ball back. I believe this is Morgan Lovell with the free kick. And a nice boot, but it's going to go right to Cosgrove. No serious challenge for Cosgrove there. And a nice boot there by Cosgrove. Number 11, Megan Holt chasing that ball down, but it's going to be ruled a Franklin throw-in. Franklin with possession as they get that ball into open space. They continue to do so. Allie Powderly now with possession. Good intentions right there, but that ball is going to just roll out of bounds. So Newton South throw-in. Newton South making a substitution. We got number 5 going out. And incoming is number 4, Sienna Massoud. Franklin with possession as they try to get that ball upfield. And it's going to slowly roll out of bounds. Newton doing their best to just let it roll out of bounds. That's going to be ruled a Newton South ball. Gwen Holland doing her best to chase that ball down. Cosgrove lets that one bounce once or twice before she finally just grabs it. This will be a Franklin free kick. Newton South sends that ball right back, but a header. That ball is going to be booted away, bouncing over to the far side of the field. Franklin tries to send that upfield, which they do, but Newton South able to take possession and. Not necessarily take possession. She was just doing her best to make sure that that ball rolled out of bounds after being last touched by a Franklin player. And that strategy worked to her advantage. So Newton South goal kick. Nice header right there, but that ball is going to just roll out of bounds. Newton South making one other substitution. Newton South throw-in. And Franklin getting it to an open player, which they do. They send it back to their goalie. So Franklin not afraid to send the ball back to their goalie for some open space when needed, but Newton South has proven themselves to be a little quick. And a big kick right there is going to go up to the line right there, and Cosgrove is just going to let that ball bounce out of bounds. So Newton South goal kick. And the boot. Newton South able to handle that kick very, very nicely as they try to send that ball upfield. Number 23, Lindsay Glass, gets it passed on to one of her teammates. Sienna Massoud passes it off to the far side of the field. And that's number 2, Jackie Ginsberg. Franklin. Newton South chasing this ball down. This is going to be ruled a corner kick for Newton South. So Newton South hoping to make this play pay off. We'll see if they can. Their first 2 corner kicks were a little too low for them to do anything with it. We'll see what happens here. This one's a little bit higher. First a header and then a rebound kick by Newton South goes right back to the Franklin goalie, Rachel Welch. Ooh, Newton South able to block that ball, and they're trying to take it away from Allie Powderly, which they are able to. That's going to be ruled a Newton South throw-in. So Newton South putting the pressure on here. Franklin able to kick that ball away. As Franklin tries to get it out of their half of the field, which they are able to. But Newton South with possession, trying to get it through some traffic. Franklin sends that ball upfield. Number 15, Gwen Holland, with a nice centering play. And Anya Zub is going to wind up running into Cosgrove, I should say. So Cosgrove with a free kick here. Not entirely sure what the whistle was for, but it was a penalty against the Panthers. .9:53 left to go in the first half. Franklin maintaining a 2-0 lead here. Newton South with the ball as they try to move it upfield into some slight traffic. That's going to be ruled a Franklin throw-in. Throw-in's going to stay in bounds. Franklin with possession as they try to send that ball outfield. Another header by Newton South, and then a big kick. That ball is going to be deflected, but stays in bounds. Newton South with an opportunity right there, but the ball is a little too far ahead of them. And so that one's going to be picked up by Welch. Pass it off to one of her defenders. I think she just rolled that one out. That ball is going to be rolled out of bounds. Newton South throw-in. Newton South trying to get this ball by the Franklin defense. No one there to keep that ball in bounds, so this is going to be a Franklin goal kick. And it looks like Welsh will be taking this one herself. But she just passes it off to Maggie Horton. And that ball is going to be sent further upfield, although inadvertently deflected out of bounds by the Panthers. So Newton South throw-in. Big kick right there, puts it into some open space. Anya's up chasing that ball, but she will be called for a penalty right there. Some contact there as Zub did try to use the Newton South player's shoulder in order to jump up and retrieve that ball. So Franklin takes this ball away from Newton South. Zub. A gentle pass up there, but Cosgrove is able to chase that down without too much of an issue. And a boot right there, and a header to match it with. Both teams try to let this ball center on the ground. Newton Center sends it upfield, but it's going to roll out of bounds, so Franklin throw-in. Six minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the first half. Franklin still leading by a score of 2-0. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds by Newton South, so it's going to stay Franklin ball. Franklin trying to get it into some open space. And lose their Newton South defenders, but Newton South is going to take possession of that ball as they try to get it into some open space themselves. Shot on net, not a complicated shot, but a shot on net nonetheless. And Welsh able to handle it. Newton South getting closer and closer with their shots on net, but Welsh is doing what she can to keep them at bay. Zub chases this one down, just barely able to keep it in bounds. And this one's going to be a Newton South goal kick. Or just a free kick, actually. Both teams chasing that ball down, and Newton South, and the Newton South player fell down as a result of it. So she may even push out of bounds. And so this one is not going to stay in bounds, so Franklin ball. Allie Powderly. And a head ball is going to keep it Franklin possession. Nice header right there is going to keep the ball in bounds. Newton South just kicks it out. Allie Powderly to continue on with the throw-ins. That one's going to be kicked out of bounds, so it's going to be a Newton South ball. That header is going to be knocked out of bounds, so Franklin throwing. Powderly looking for an open player. She finds one, but it's going to go into some heavy Newton South traffic. Ball's going to stay Franklin possession. This time she's going to go backward. And Newton South chasing that ball right down. As they move into Franklin territory. But Franklin right on their tail. Both teams get tripped up right there. It's going to be called Franklin ball. Two minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first half. Newton South takes that ball away, but Franklin kicks it away. Powderly centers that ball. Newton South right in her face here. As Franklin is just doing everything what they can to keep this ball away from Newton South defense. Newton South is quick, to their credit. That ball is going to be chased down, but going to roll out of bounds. So Newton South throwing. And we are officially under 2 minutes. So at this point, the score clock is controlled by the refs. Newton South with control of the ball. They send that ball downfield. Welsh is going to keep it on the ground until Newton South comes right up to her. And she rolls it out to a defender. Franklin sends it upfield. Oh, a nice send right here. Shot on net. Ooh, that's going to be right in front of the Newton South net, but Franklin cannot track it down in time to get it into the net. And Franklin is going to get a corner kick here. So Franklin with a lucky break here. Nice boot. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds. So now it'll be a Newton South goal kick. And that big whistle is going to mark the end of the first half. So fairly evenly played game. Both teams having interesting shots on net, but Franklin with the obvious 2-0 lead here. Both goals either scored by Anya Zub or assisted by Anya Zub. So Franklin is thrilled to have this 2-0 lead for this non-league matchup against Newton South. We're going to take a little break here and get ourselves geared up for the start of the second half. Stay tuned. Welcome back for the start of the second half of this girls varsity soccer matchup between your Franklin Lady Panthers and the visiting school of Newton South. Franklin leading the game by a score of 2-0. But in spite of that two-goal lead, this has been a very back and forth matchup. Newton South hasn't had as many shots on net as Franklin has, but their effort cannot be denied tonight. Both teams out on the field, and Newton South still in their huddle, but they're about to break that. And Anya Zub will start off with the ball for the Panthers in the second half. Whistle blows, and here we go. Franklin trying to keep it away from a Newton South defender, which they are able to do, but unfortunately that pass is going to go right to a Newton South player. Shot on net. It's going to be easily scooped up. A nice boot here. It's going to be settled down to the ground. That ball is going to be sent in front of Anya Zub, but it's going to be too far ahead of her, so Cosgrove with a nice boot. And Franklin steals it away from Newton South as they try to send that ball upfield, which they do. It's going to stay Franklin ball. Both teams getting tangled up here as Franklin tries to send it upfield. Again, ball stolen away by Newton South, and they're going to just boot it out. Cassidy Carmignani throws it in for the Panthers. Franklin with plenty of time here. That's number 2, Eiley Sinelli. And Cosgrove with a free kick here. She boots it out to the 50-yard line. Franklin heading it right back. Franklin trying to keep the ball centered on the floor. Ooh, a nice send right here, but we'll see. Ooh, a good shot on net, but it's going to just bounce off the right-hand goalpost. So Franklin not that far off from scoring their third goal of the game. Only 3.5 minutes into the second half. Goal kick right there by Cosgrove. That ball is going to be deflected. Franklin trying to keep it settled down on the floor, on the ground, I should say. Carmignani with a throw-in. That's going to be ruled a Newton South throw-in. Franklin trying to steal it away, but it's going to stay Newton South possession. Carmignani tried to get a foot on that one, but unfortunately she does not gain control of it. That ball is going to be kicked sideways and out of bounds, so that's going to be a Franklin throw-in. And now Newton South making a move for the Franklin net. So not a strong shot on net, but a shot on net nonetheless. And now a whistle blows. I think there was some confusion on the field because there might be some other activities going on around the soccer field that involve some whistling. And it looks like we're going to be doing a drop ball here. Franklin booting that one away. Anya Zub jumping as high as she can to try to get a header on that, but doesn't quite work. Newton South with possession. They try to. That ball is going to be inadvertently blocked by one of her teammates. Franklin with possession as they try to center that ball, and Cosgrove able to handle that ball as she dives on top of it. That ball is going to go right back to Cosgrove. Franklin puts a foot on that one. Franklin trying to keep it away from Newton South defenders, which they're able to, but then Newton South gets a kick on that one. Franklin throw-in, and a quick throw-in. Newton South just doing what they can to chase Franklin down whenever they have possession. They try sending that ball across field. Franklin intercepts it. Nice pass. But an initial, a shot there is going to be wide of the Newton South net. Another close call there, but it looks like that might have been a few inches, if not feet, wide of the Newton South net. So a goal kick for Newton South. Franklin gets a header on that one, but it's going to be deflected out of bounds, so Newton South throw-in. Throw-in. A little bit of contact there, but no call. Although soccer is a contact sport, but Franklin with a nice centering pass right there. Anya Zub with the shot. And Cosgrove with the initial save there. It is rebounded by Franklin, but it's going to be wide and go into the outside of the netting. So a Newton South goal kick here. Cosgrove putting in a ton of work in this game. As Franklin does what they can to keep that ball away from Newton South defenders. Newton South able to steal that ball easily away. Shot on net, not a lot of strength behind it, so Franklin able to handle that ball easily. 31 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the second half. Franklin maintaining a 2-0 lead. Nice kick right there. Newton South tries to put a header on that one. They do retain possession. Ooh, and that's going to be stuffed. Morgan Lovell sends that ball upfield, but that's going to go into some slightly heavy Newton South traffic. So they try to maneuver this ball through Newton South defense. Trying to get that ball by Franklin defense. It's going to roll out to number 18, Kelly O'Connor. O'Connor with the ball. She's not afraid to go into the Newton South traffic. Kudos to her. Franklin not quite able to keep that ball inbound, so that's going to be. Oh, it's actually it is going to be Franklin ball. Franklin throw in. Loose ball. That one's going to be rolled out of bounds, but it's going to be called a Franklin corner. Oh, it's actually just a Franklin free kick. Just about the 5-yard line. Oh, actually the 1-yard line regardless. Oh, a nice save there by Cosgrove, but a rebound. And Franklin's able to bury that rebound into the net. That gameplay action happened so fast I wasn't able to keep track of who actually got the shot in the net. But a shot on net that's initially saved by Cosgrove, and then a rebound by Cosgrove is able to be buried into the net by the Panthers. So Franklin now leads this game by a score of 3-0. That ball's going to be sent upfield. Franklin sending it right back. O'Connor with possession. She sends it upfield to number 13, Cassidy Carmignani. Carmignani tries to center it. Newton South with a kick here. That's going to be bouncing out of bounds. So Franklin throwing. Carmignani with the throw in. And Anya's up chasing this ball down. Shot on net. That's going to be wide of the Newton South net. Anya's up one of many powerhouse plays on this Franklin squad. Good goal kick there by Cosgrove. It's going to go into Franklin territory, and they're just going to send it to their goalie. Nice block right there, but Franklin. Ooh. Newton South with possession here. Ooh. And Franklin's going to just kick that ball out of bounds. Away from number 11, Megan Holt, who nearly could have had a shot on net. Kate Zella with a throw in for Newton South. And that shot, again, not a strong shot, so that ball is just going to bounce out of bounds. And a goal kick for the Panthers. Franklin going for a simple pass after the goal kick. Newton South tries to center that ball, but no one there to finish off that play. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds after being He was initially kicked by, I believe, Eiley Sinelli. Kelly O'Connor, she's going to send that ball upfield. Anya Zub with a nice centering play. That ball is going to go wide, but Franklin does keep the ball in bounds. Zub not quite able to get a kick on that one. This is going to be a Newton South free kick. And it looks like Cosgrove is going to take it. Nice header by the Panthers. And O'Connor keeping the ball away from her Newton South defender. She's going to pass it backward to Sinelli. Sinelli gets it to the goalie. Nice throw in there. Franklin on the opposite side of the field. And a kick is going to be blocked by Newton South defense. Both teams fighting for this one. That kick is going to be blocked by Newton South. Open space, but that shot is going to go right to Cosgrove. An initial kick there by Ava Villela. Fancy footwork here by Kelly O'Connor. As she tries to center it. Newton South trying to send it upfield, which they are able to. Sinelli passes it up to Carmignani. Carmignani sends it right up to Anya Zub. But Cosgrove is right there to snatch that ball up. Newton South now bringing it downfield. Newton South with a centering play. It's going to be kicked out of bounds by Sinelli. So it's going to be a Newton South goal throw-in. Both teams making substitutions. 24 minutes left to go in the game. Franklin maintaining a 3-0 lead here. This is gonna stay Newton South. That one's gonna be headed out of bounds by Newton South, so it's gonna be a Franklin throw-in. Newton South with possession here. As they try to get it upfield and keep it away from Franklin defenders. Nice passing play right there, but Franklin knocks it out. Franklin chasing that one down. Cassidy Carmignani racing with this ball. O'Connor signaling here to send that ball upfield, but unfortunately it's not going to get too far ahead of O'Connor for her to do anything with it, but it is going to be knocked out of bounds by Newton South. So a corner kick for the Panthers. And Carmignani to inbound the ball. Nice kick and a nice header, but the header's going to go a little too high. So this will be a Newton South goal kick. An initial header with Newton South able to settle the ball down as they try to get it by the Franklin defense. Goalie initially considered chasing that ball down, but luckily for her, she's able to have some of her teammates take this ball away. Franklin throw-in. O'Connor gets it to Carmignani. Back to O'Connor. And O'Connor nearly double team, but she's able to keep the. Ooh. Through no fault of her own, O'Connor winds up racing herself out of bounds as a result of inadvertently running into the referee. And she's not able to continue on with the ball, but we are going to have a Franklin throw-in here. Nice play right there, but ball is not going to stay in bounds, so Newton South throw-in. Centering play right there. Franklin with the ball on the opposite side of the field, chasing this one down. Centering play right there, but Newton South with a big header. A big header that's going to result in a corner kick for the Panthers. Cosgrove right there to punch that ball out of the way. Rebound and then a follow-up kick by the Panthers. Goes right back to Cosgrove. And a little bit of pushing right there by the Panthers gives Newton South a free kick. And Cosgrove again to handle the free kick. I can see why. She's got a nice foot on her. And a shot on net, a wild shot on net that's going to be sent out of bounds. So Franklin goal kick. .1917 left to go in the second half. Score continues to be 3-0 in favor of the Panthers. Newton South would love to get something going here. Newton South with possession here, although that ball is going to be easily knocked away by Sinelli. Franklin sends it downfield, and a big header there by number 25, Layla Confer. That's going to be ruled a Franklin penalty, so a Newton South ball, free kick specifically. And Cosgrove again handling the free kick. And that kick is going to just go wide of the Franklin net, so Franklin goal kick. And after that kick, Cosgrove has to keep a sharp eye on what's happening in front of her. Nice passing play here to Cassidy Carmignani as she continues to bring the ball upfield. Tries to get it by her Newton South defender, but Newton South is just going to kick that ball out of bounds. So Carmignani with the throw-in. Cosgrove with a boot. Franklin sending it right back, but goes right to Newton South defense. Anya's up chasing it down. Franklin throw in. And a Franklin header that's unfortunately going to be turned over to Newton South. Franklin sending it downfield. Newton South sending it right back. So Franklin putting it in an open space. Sinelli gets it to O'Connor. And O'Connor sending it to center field. Some good ball movement here by the Panthers as Cassidy Carmignani dribbles it downfield. Ooh. Anya Zub was right there to try to bury that ball in the net, but Cosgrove is right there as well. Newton South trying to get it by Franklin defense. O'Connor chasing that ball down, but unfortunately she can't get to it, so it's going to be a Newton South throw-in. As Newton South makes a couple of substitutions here. 15-10 left to go in the game. Score is still 3-0. Newton South in Franklin territory. Newton South tries to play it safe, but Franklin is able to steal the ball away, and then a final kick by Newton South is going to launch that ball out of bounds, so Franklin throw in. Nice Franklin header right there. Newton South tries to, Franklin with a shot on net. It's going to be picked up by Cosgrove, and she's going to just launch it out. Franklin tries to keep this ball in bounds, and they do with heavy traffic surrounding them. Ava Villela is knocked down, but Franklin's going to be called for a penalty there. So free kick for Newton South. Cosgrove again to take the kick. Franklin able to settle the ball down as they bring the ball to the far side of the field. Ooh, an open ball here with Anya Zub chasing it down. Zub. Big shot on net that's going to be wide of the Newton South net. But a good effort by Zub to try to even get that shot on net. Franklin trying to keep it away from Newton South defense. They get into some open space with Sinelli. Sinelli tries to get a centering pass going, but it's going to be knocked away by Newton South. So this has been a very, very back and forth game between these two evenly matched teams. And a game like this is a perfect example why you can't judge a team's gameplay by their record. Newton South throw-in. And a strong throw-in, that is. Shot on net that's going to be a little bit wide, but not too much for the Franklin goalie to take care of. Gentle pass there to Sinelli. O'Connor. She would have been effectively double teamed. That ball is going to be inadvertently knocked out of bounds by the Panthers, so that's going to be a Newton South throw-in. 10.5 minutes left to go in the game. Kate Zella with the throw-in. As Franklin tries to get it into some open space, Newton South trying to send it back. And that shot's going to be wide and out of bounds. It almost feels like Newton South is knocking on the door here, but Franklin able to keep the pressure at bay. And Franklin making a couple substitutions. Ooh. Bit of a high kick there. That could have been dangerous, but thankfully it was not. That's going to be a handball. An unfortunate turn of events for Newton South. Franklin's just going to let that ball roll out of bounds after last being touched by Newton South, so Franklin goal kick. Sinelli now with the ball. She tries to send it outfield, and Newton South tries to steal it away. Carmignani tries to pass the ball back to O'Connor. That ball is going to be knocked away by Franklin. Ooh. Newton's going to whiff on that pass. So Franklin throw in. Franklin with the ball. Nice pass over to Carmignani. Ooh, I take that back. That's actually number 4, Kaylin Bruno. Nice boot. That one is by Carmignani. And O'Connor tries to settle it down, but it's going to be knocked out by Newton South. O'Connor, ooh. Newton South, ooh. Another gentle kick away. That's going to roll out of bounds, and it's going to be ruled a Franklin ball. So Carmignani with the throw-in. O'Connor. able to work that ball by the Newton South defense, and a shot on it is going to be blocked away by Cosgrove. Six minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the game. That ball is going to be headed out of bounds by Franklin, so that's going to be a Newton South goal kick. That ball is going to be deflected out of bounds by Newton South, so Franklin ball. Time is very much on the Panthers side at this point. Newton South chasing down every ball that they can get their feet on. Shot on net is going to be handled. Once again handled very nicely by Rachel Welch. Newton South with the ball as they try to weave that ball through the Franklin defense. Welch not taking any chances with that one. She just chases that ball down. Franklin trying to send it upfield, or at least move it upfield. As they settle that one down, send it downfield. And that is going to be a Franklin throw-in. We are at the 5-minute point of this game. And now time is controlled by the refs. Nice play right here. Franklin with an attempted centering pass. Franklin is effectively going to be double teamed wherever Newton South can afford to. Since time is not on Newton South's side here. Franklin maintaining a 3-0 lead here. And a goal kick by Cosgrove. Big kick by Cosgrove, but unfortunately for her is going to go back to the Panthers. Loose ball that's going to go to Cosgrove. Ball is going to continue to stay in Franklin possession. And now Newton South throw-in. O'Connor racing this ball down. And she gets it by Newton South defenders. Centering pass. But unfortunately, it goes a little too far behind Anya Zub, who was right smack in the center of the field for that one. Centering play right there. Newton South tries to knock it away. And that ball is just going to be kicked out of bounds, so that's going to be a Franklin corner kick. Only a few minutes left to go in this game. Franklin corner kick. Nice header. Ooh, that hits the top of the post. So Franklin very, very close to scoring a fourth goal with only minutes, if not seconds to spare in the second half. But Newton South catches a lucky break right there. And that triple whistle is going to mark the end of the match. A very fierce matchup here between Franklin and the visiting school of Newton South, where Newton South had a lot of fight in them. But unfortunately for them, Franklin is able to work through all the cracks in their armor, scores their first 2 goals in the first half, scores their third goal only minutes to go, only minutes into the second half. And that is how we're going to end our coverage here at Passini Field. So once again, the score is going to end with a final count of Franklin 3 and Newton South 0. So for